And we're back. Hey, everybody. How you doing? It's Uncle Bruce here. 3 o'clock Eastern. 1 hour before the close, 1 hour after the close. How you doing? We're back for the final hour of trading. How you doing? Got to put myself on mute. Can't handle myself twice. Welcome all to the program, Stock Markets with Bruce, as we are closing out the day today. Not a lot to talk about. I mean, gee whiz, it's kind of a flat day, isn't it? We've got the Dow down 25 points, and S&P up 3.8, and NASDAQ up 4. So that's what's going on the big markets. Not a lot to talk about. Oil up 26 cents a barrel, 59.59. Quiet. GameStop 178.70. The volume today on GameStop, 4 million shares. Really quiet. The low of the day, 176.11, about $1.60 below where we are now has been the low. Is that right? $2.10 below. Right now, 178. The high, 184.46. That was at the opening. Right off the opening was the high of the day. It's been it had a drop and a little recovery, and now it's flatlining. Not a lot to get excited about, but as I speak, it hit 179.15. Maybe it'll go higher. So it's $3 off its low. Okay. How about if I keep talking about it, it goes $4 off its low? How about that? Yeah, okay. 179.15. I don't know what's going on. Over on AMC right now, $9.97 a share, down 23 cents a share today. This is a stock that has, in the last 7-8 days, has gone from the $14+ neighborhood, a high of, I think it was $14.40 on March the 18th. So that is that right? 14.40 on March 18th. Yeah, it's been a while. So 13 days plus, so 20 days now. For 3 weeks, it's gone from 14.40 all the way down now to the 9.95 neighborhood. Low of the day, 9.85. Volume 23.8 million. Nothing to get excited about here with AMC. Unfortunately, the selling just keeps coming in on the stock because, of course, looming overhead, for AMC shareholders is the fact that it is likely that they are going to, in their annual meeting, they're going to approve an issuance of additional shares. They're going to basically authorize the company to double the number of shares that could be issued and outstanding to 1 billion shares from 500 million shares. And the worry is, and the reality is, the company is likely going to raise additional capital to fund it through this year if they can't earn a profit. And with restricted movie going, with occupancy restrictions, they may well have to do that. Right now, U.S. states, many of them are opening wide open. They're going right open to allow all business of all kinds. It just doesn't seem likely. Well, I'll put it this way. It's amazing to us in Canada because here we're going the opposite direction as I speak to you. The country of Canada is going into another national lockdown, province by province by province. It is there are serious case counts beginning to appear here in British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, Quebec, the 4 most populated provinces. The case counts of these variants have really risen, and they're dramatic, and they are also affecting much younger people. And this is what's concerning, where we've gone through this whole thing about the seniors being affected by it. Now we're finding that these new variants are really knocking younger folks for a loop, and hospital counts are rising dramatically, and the country of Canada is quite concerned. Many of the provinces here are very concerned about the higher numbers, and so we have just shut down indoor eating at restaurants. You can't go inside a McDonald's. Drive-through only. Burger King, KFC, Wendy's, Arby's, all drive-through only. No indoor seating allowed. All restaurants, mom and pop shops, all shut down, or takeout only. That's all they're allowing as far as authorities go. And many other social settings have been just verboten, not allowed, because the case counts are just so scary right now. Just got this notice here. Hey, Bruce, the SEC just ruled no objection to DTC Rule 801. What effect do you think this will have on short positions? I don't know for sure. We've been watching these SEC filings and waiting for them to be, passed on or objected on, and what will happen on them. The hope that I have, and I'm sure many of you have out there, is that we're going to see a change in how firms will not be allowed to not deliver securities on settlement. I mean, this so-called failure to deliver rule and these extended time periods where you can have an IOU with the clearing corporation. The hope I have is that these kinds of passages of these SEC rules will make it much more difficult for that to happen in the first place. And perhaps the reality will be it'll be a very expensive ordeal if the firm in question that does not deliver securities on time will find that they are running into a major, either a fine or a major call on capital to protect the other side. I'm just hoping that, in the end, what it means is that there'll be a squeeze on securities out there that are in a heavy position of failure to deliver. And if that's the case, the failure to deliver positions may start dropping dramatically here and there. And there's certainly a strong case to be made and a lot of speculation to be made with regards to GameStop shares. Many shares are in a failure to deliver status. We're kind of wondering, well, could this tighten up the actual number of shares that are out there trading along with regard to GameStop? Could this mean that, in effect, a regulatory squeeze is going to start? Not a stock squeeze like we saw in January, where one group of investors were pitted against another group of investors. Not that kind of a squeeze, but now a regulatory stock squeeze. Could that be in the offing for stocks, including GameStop? And would I love to see that? Yes, I would, because that is the kind of a squeeze that's a one-way deal. It's not like you can squeeze out one brokerage house and then they can turn around and come back the other side over here. No. There's no other traffic the other direction. It's one way out of town and there's no way back. And I would really like to see the tightening of the float, of the so-called float of stock out there for GameStop, because as I have been speculating and others out there have been speculating, the talk is that anywhere from 200 million to 1 billion shares of GameStop are flying around out there in one form or another. I think that it is closer to this 150, 250 neighborhood, 100 or 200 million share range, not 1 billion. But there are those out there who are thinking that there could well be a huge amount of shares shorted artificially through the issuance of call options, naked call options. We're going to see what this does. Anyway, at this moment in time, nothing is happening on the markets. I don't know if the markets are going to pay attention to this ruling as much as GameStop shareholders are paying attention to this ruling. This is the interesting thing about Wall Street Bets and followers of Reddit. There are people on Reddit and Wall Street Bets who are really digging into SEC filings, looking for the smallest of indications, hints that there are changes coming with regards to non-delivery, because these folks have uncovered a huge treasure trove of data that suggests to them that we are talking about a scenario here where tens of millions of shares of stocks, including shares of GameStop in particular, just are not being declared short. They're actually not declared short positions through the New York Stock Exchange. And the thinking here is that a lot of these over-the-counter transactions and perceived failure to deliver notices that have been issued could really tally up to a huge number of shares that are actually out there that shouldn't be out there. And I know the SEC has allowed liquidity to be enhanced by allowing this kind of a practice, but it's possible that there's been a real abuse of the practice here by certain members of the investment world, which could be these hedge funds that have found a way to short stock of GameStop, bet against the company, put pressure on the stock from time to time, run all kinds of sell orders into the market, hit bids mercilessly, drop the stock value, try to shake out investors. Now, in the past, this always worked. This always worked with any other company, except this time around, it's not working with GameStop shareholders, simply because if there are over 200 million shares out there, it is possible that over 100 million shares of GameStop are held by small retail investors. We're talking about investors with a half a share, 3/4 of a share, 3 shares, 5 shares, 12 shares, 15 shares, under a board lot, under 100 shares each. If there's that many shares out there in such small hands, you're not going to scare up a million shares of selling by just dropping the stock $4 or $5 a share. These folks are not falling for this trick anymore, not with this stock. And so the hedge funds may have a problem if there is actually a regulatory squeeze coming. This actually is going to happen. And it forces brokerage firms to start to tell their clients, you got to pick up your stock. You got to lower your short position. We have got a failure to deliver scenario here on your behalf. You've got to tighten up your stock, either deliver in paper or buy up paper. And it'll be interesting to see just where this buying starts to come from and how much of it starts to show. Because again, as we have talked about a million times, 70 million shares of GameStop exist. 130, 140 million don't. And this 130, 140 million is out there. We keep reading about how many shares are held by pension funds, mutual funds, and ETFs and index funds. Doesn't add up. It just too much stock in too many actual hands. This can't continue. So I'm kind of hoping this will be the beginning of a movement. Now, when does this kick in? When does this rule or this ruling begin to affect the trading of stocks all over the place, including GameStop? And which shares will be the most affected by it? What companies out there have the highest percentage of free trading shares floating around out there that shouldn't be floating around out there? And I keep coming back to the GameStop story because I think that is the one. I think that's the one stock that is likely the highest shorted or synthetically shorted stock out there. And how this will play out, time will tell. There you have it. That's as I see it at this point. We're gonna follow that. The markets right now turning a little positive on the S&P, just 3 points positive, down 22 on the Dow, flat on NASDAQ. So we're not getting much help with the markets today. It's a very calm day, but I will reiterate the good news for the markets is that the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are either at or extremely close to their all-time record highs that they've set only in the last few days, weeks, and months. And these markets are not collapsing. They're not backing off. They're holding these gains. And that's showing me a lot of turnover of capital. Anyone who wants out, get out. People are wanting in to take out the sellers. It's a standoff. And from what I'm hearing and witnessing and seeing, the economy of the United States is getting stronger right now. And as I was alluding to a bit earlier, mentioning states are opening up. And that means employment is rising dramatically. Spending is rising dramatically. The stimulus monies are filtering through the economy. And this $1.9 trillion, this takes a while to fully go through the entire system. And it turns over several times over. This is very good for the markets, very good for the economy, great for job creation, great for stimulus. Now, if the Democrats can figure out a way to ram through the infrastructure deal, they can cut some kind of a deal with Republicans, who knows, they can pass this infrastructure deal. This looks like it's going to happen, and it's going to go through. That would be a major, major stimulus for the U.S. economy. Absolutely major for all 50 states. This is not a Northeast U.S. thing or a Southwest thing or a red state thing or a blue state thing. This is a national infrastructure build-up program, which will include the upgrade of bandwidth for internet, water supply, highways, bridges, airports, shipping centers, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Even as something as simple and as basic as cash for school upgrades and new builds. This is a huge job creator. I mean, we're talking about building. We're talking about the construction business. So lookout steel, concrete, wiring, internet, property management, air conditioning, heating systems, asphalt, everything, and then all the supplies for schools and so on. I mean, this is just a job creator. It's an made in America job creator type deal, the likes of which the U.S. has not had really in decades. Really, this kind of spending has not been done. It's been held off and kicked down the road by administration after administration, or by Congress or by Senate. There's just not been a way to get this kind of a bill through the three layers of government to get this thing going until now, where between the White House, the Congress, and the Senate, there might be a way to squeak through a massive infrastructure spending program that will put trillions of dollars to work over the next decade into the U.S. economy, and will allow a lot of repair work to be done, maintenance work, and new building to be done. That is sorely needed because the United States is so behind the rest of the world right now when it comes to infrastructure spending, domestic infrastructure spending. So anyway, we'll see how that plays itself out. Time will tell. Let's take a look again at these markets. $9.95 on AMC, down a quarter. Man, that is too bad. It is not looking good. It got over 11 the other day. Now it's back under 10 again. Vector Acquisition down 16 cents. Nav Site Holdings down a nickel. IPOE down 21. Gores Holdings down 8. VG Acquisitions, VGAC down a nickel. Starboard Value down a nickel. And Fortress Value up 13. It's the one SPAC going up today that I follow. What can I tell you? Home Depot down $1.98. International Business Machines, IBM up 23 cents. The Dow down 35. Microsoft up $1.50. Apple up $1.36. So these two stalwarts are definitely having good days. Tesla down $20 today to $6.71. That's where we are right now. Cruise lines higher. Royal Caribbean up 66 cents. Norwegian up 46. Carnival up 52. They were higher this morning, though. They all started with a real run first thing this morning. They've all faltered since. And they're now kind of holding their own, but not going very far. They seem to be faltering as the market is coming into the close. We are 42 minutes away from the end of the day today, and I would like to hear what your thoughts are. Is there anything you want me to talk about? Anything you've got questions about? Let me know. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. Those of you who've been making contributions to this channel, those of you who become members today, thank you for joining us. Nice to have you here. And like I say, we are watching for a number of things to happen. This so-called non-deliver rule, failure deliver rule, that would be cool. That would be really something major for us if we ever saw something like that happen. But the number one thing for those of you who are following GameStop right now, what you're looking for is the company to make an announcement about new directors. That's what we're waiting for. I don't know when this will come. It has to happen soon, though, because the shareholder meeting is less than 60 days away, I believe. And I would think that between now and less than 30 days to go, they would have a board, to be nominated that you could now consider. They won't do this at the last minute. This will be done, I'm sure, with at least a month to go. So this next week or two, we should know from GameStop whom they are targeting or whom they've approached and which people have agreed to stand for nomination to become part of the board of directors of GameStop. 178.10 is the price of the stock. Volume on GameStop, 4,157,000 shares. Not a lot of trading to get excited about, if at all. It is a very quiet day. 178.44. All right, there you have it. Let's see what's going on. Thank you, everybody. If I'm understanding correctly, in order for GameStop to go to the moon, all the shares that were shorted need to be called back, right? If so, and all the people at the top work together, what if they never do? Well, it doesn't require all the shares. There needs to only be a bit of a pressure point on the free float of the stock. If there is an underlying demand for the paper that just doesn't stop over and above regular demand, you have a scenario where, first of all, brokerage firms are going to buy hedge funds in, let's just suppose. And even if it's a million shares a day for 50 straight trading days, I'm just pretending with numbers here. The reality is, though, that the hedge funds can't short a million shares to when they get bought in. Like, they get bought in for a million, they can't short another million. They're now restricted from taking new positions because you can't borrow the stock in this kind of quantity anymore, which in effect slowly but surely puts a squeeze on the marketplace, because regular folks coming in to buy and sell stock want to just buy and sell stock like they always do for whatever reason they want to buy, whatever reason they want to sell, they're going to do their thing. But if there's this artificial demand coming in that is a relentless 100 million share demand over 100 trading days, you're talking about 20 plus weeks, over 5 months of relentless buying coming in at a million shares a day to pick up a bunch of stock. And there's only 20 trading days in a month, approximately. I'm roughing it out, 4 weeks a month, 5 days a week, with the odd holiday Monday to shut things down on. In any event, it's a 5-month process to buy a million shares a day if you want to do it in kind of a little bit of a way. But this kind of relentless need for stock will just relentlessly move the market higher. And the street will sniff this out in no time. The street will sniff this out quickly. And what will then happen is, if you're a hedge fund, for example, and you're short 500,000 shares, and you hear through the grapevine that another hedge fund that you know of, that short stock, they got bought in last week or 2 days ago, they got notice that they had to buy them in, you're going to start buying yourself in. You're not going to wait for your broker to call you and say, I'm buying you in. You're going to do it yourself, especially if you're noticing the stock starts to go up in price. You're going to start buying yourself in. And I see here where there are dozens and dozens and dozens of funds out there who are short stock, I think, and other institutions. You create a bit of a panic of underlying current of concern I call that panic. People need to pick up their stock. They're not going to wait for the broker to tell them, oh yeah, in a month from now we're going to buy you in, because a month from now this thing could be $150 a share more. I'm not waiting for that. I'm getting in now. And so if there's a hint that there's a hammer coming down on the short sellers from a regulatory point of view, that could create a panic buying wave into the stock, of which you will see hundreds of millions of shares trade for like 2 weeks straight. Welcome back to January of this year, late January, early February, where there was a panic wave of buying and speculation happening all at the same time, and a lot of stock turned over. This could be the case here. What we don't know for sure is we don't know who it is. We never do. We don't know how much each entity needs. And when they're going to start making their move. If I were a short seller of this stock, if I haven't got enough to worry about, I got to worry about the Ryan Cohenization of this company. I got to worry about the fact that every time this stock gets slammed, it recovers more or less. There's an army of buyers out there that are tiny and they can't be pushed around because they're cash buyers. And now there's a possibility of a regulatory thing on top of everything else, where I might be forced in, or my broker is forced in on my behalf. Like, it's not even, I haven't got the problem. I have enough money and cash to handle my margin call. I can handle the position that I'm carrying, the short position, not a problem at all. The problem is that the broker who used to lend me the stock now can't lend me the stock anymore, because everyone is calling in their paper. All the houses are going to call in the paper that they have lent out, if they've lent any out, and this is going to create a shortage. Now, mutual funds who are long stock have been lending out stock for a fee. This is how they make their money, which is nothing wrong with that, except the problem is that you can only lend out so much stock, and then you've got too much out there. And if there's 70 million out standing, and mutual funds own 30 million of the 70 million, they can lend out 30 million shares. So in a reality world, then you have 70 million out plus an additional 30 million lent by mutual funds. That's 100 million shares that could be floating around out there. There's nothing unusual about that. But if we're talking about 210 million shares that are actually floating around out there, where's the other 110 million coming from? And this is the failure to deliver thing that we keep coming back to all the time. We keep talking about this brokerage firm's failure to deliver on settlement. And they've had these 3-week rollover periods to just delay the inevitable, that they roll over their failure to deliver again and again and again and again with all their clients. And there are probably mutual funds who are, not mutual funds, hedge funds, excuse me. There are probably a lot of hedge funds out there who are failure. They don't have the stock. They've sold stock. They then turn around, buy stock back and resell it again and take a new position on another 21-day turnaround. If this gets shut down and gets cut off at the pass, that's the end of this game. And one by one, what begins to happen is certain sellers now have to start covering because they can't borrow paper anymore. And it just permeates through the entire market, and including all of GameStop. And so maybe you have to go from 210 million shares out there to 100 million shares out there over the next month or so. I don't know. I don't know the timing. We're going to watch this very closely. Stock's 177.86 though. That's where it is right now. What can I say? All right, there you have it, guys. I don't know what else to say. We're going to watch this. And do you think, Bruce, that retail has started a war between hedge funds? Wall Street Bets chatter. Well, I have maintained lately that the folks at Wall Street Bets and Reddit have adopted GameStop as their pet project. And I think that there are millions of investors, of readers of the service, who are starting to buy up this stock. And they've just systematically been buying this paper. And I get the impression that millions upon millions of shares of GameStop are held by people who are not interested in selling it at under 500 a share. And that's why I contend, I think when the shares top out the first time around on this next go, it'll be over 483. That was the all-time high last time. She'll pass that number. But if these shares really go for a run into the 400, 500, 600 range, the short positions out there are going to be so expensive to carry that there'll be forced buy-ins from a financial side of things, not let alone the regulatory side of things. The financial side of things will kick things up. So there could be a heck of a war here, a real holy war going on. What can I say? Anyway, there you go. Retail benefiting. That's insane. I can't have that. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for popping in and watching the story and the game plan here. We're going to see what's happening with all of this, all of this stuff here. Thank you all. Let's see here. Hey, just kidding, Bruce. You're not that old. We've got, let's see. Just looking for comments. Just trying to reach your comment here. Someone here says I got 50 shares. Is Home Depot a buy at the moment? I think it's a long-term buy. I really do. I think the stock's going to continue to go higher. Boy, if I was only 97 again, I'd show these young whippersnappers a thing or two. So what you're saying, Bruce, is that this thing really has a chance to go big. Regulatory stock squeeze means what for valuation? I can't wrap my head around this one. Again, I think about this, that if there's 70 million shares in existence, which is what the company has issued, there's 210 million shares out there, and you reduce that to 140 million, the dollars that are representing 70 million shares will permeate into this market in a restricted share offering scenario. We could see these shares rise by half their value right off the get-go, maybe double. That would be a no-brainer. If the tightening continues from a regulatory point of view, these shares could really go for a ride, because there will be these opportunists who are just sitting on the sidelines going, show me a deal, show me a scenario where I can get into a stock where I know certain entities have to buy stock. I mean, if you know someone is short stock and they've got to buy it up to get flat, and it's not 10,000 shares, it's not 100,000 shares, we're talking 50 million shares, 80 million shares. an unbelievable number of shares. When the company's only got 70 actually out there, you are talking about convincing people to sell and get out. Because right now, there's every likelihood that there's over 200 million shares of GameStop held in legitimate accounts. Accounts of individuals, accounts of hedge funds, accounts of mutual funds, ETFs, index funds, pension funds. There are holders of GameStop all over the place. But if the sellers of 2/3 of all the stock that is out there don't have it, and they can't have it, there's no way they could have it, how are they going to get 140 million shares back? How's that going to happen? You can't. We're trading today at 177.46, 4.2 million shares today. That's all the stock we're trading today. We're down $7 a share. $7 drop on the stock, 4 million shares traded. This isn't coming in. Where is this 200 million shares or 150 million shares of selling coming from? It's not coming in here. And I don't think 4 million shares were sold today to get out. I think we had 2 million of those turning over today, just day traders. There might have only been 1 or 2 million of actual selling today. This is nothing. This is zip. So I don't see these shorters covering very easily at these levels. If you want to cover your position, you're going to have to be a buyer, an aggressive buyer, to pick off offers. And the rest of the street out there is not going to help you make it. It's not going to make it easy on you. Again, there are hedge funds out there dying to take advantage of any kind of momentum on a stock. Up momentum, down momentum, they'll join the party. And if we have GameStop up momentum kicking in out of the blue, you can bet you that 3/4 of the buying power coming in will be over and above the shorter trying to buy back. It'll be all kinds of people jumping into getting in front of this guy, making it really difficult to get it. And this just pops the market higher. The amplification becomes unbelievable. This is what I'm thinking about. But it all has to start somewhere. What can I say? Okay. Let's see what's going on. What's AMC doing? 990, not looking good. Hey, Skippy, how you doing? Oh my gosh. Let's see what's going on here. It might all start. It might all begin with the company doing a very innocent announcement. They bring out a press release, say tomorrow morning, day after tomorrow, and they talk about, we've received, we've invited, so-and-so, a board member of Goldman Sachs, to become a director of the company, and so-and-so has accepted. And then in the second paragraph of the press release is an article, or as another announcement. We've hired 3 new people to the company, a Chewy person, an Amazon person, an eBay person, or a QVC person, or whatever, to join the management of the company as we continue to evolve into an e-commerce company. It could just start with a very innocent press release like this that normally would be well received, but, nothing big. But that comes out, and the SEC ruling takes effect, and brokerage firms are starting to put the squeeze on the clients, cover up your short positions, and the buying begins. And there's natural buying coming in already because of the news announcement that was made by the company and the director joining the firm. 500,000 shares of buying interest starts the day off, typical day. But as the day wears on, there's 5 million buying interest from short sellers coming in here, and there's just not enough stock available. The stock is just not here. It's not available up to $200 a share. You can't buy that much fresh stock. You can flip it over, turn it over, but you're not going to be able to satisfy actual buys that are one-way buys. I want the stock. I'm holding the stock. Give me the paper. You have 15 million shares of buying interest come into a market in the first hour of GameStop. You're at $210 a share. You're $210. and now you're up $35 a share. You don't think that's going to create a bit of a commotion out there? CNBC will be all over it. It's 35. It's up 20% today. Yeah, it's up $35 a share on a $770 stock. Yeah, it's a 20% move. That begats more buying, which begats more nervous buying for those who are short, which begats the stock to go to $250. Now, it might not be in the same day, but it would be overnight. Next morning, next day, it opens at $250. And now the thinking is, well, what's happening now? What's the scuttlebutt? Can it be because of this director? Really? Or is it these three people who were hired? Or really? Or is it something deeper? It's something deeper. And but everything adds to it. And the company comes out 3 days later with another director appointment. We've extended an invitation to so-and-so to join our board of directors. They've accepted to be nominated. That adds more fuel to the fire again and creates another quick squeeze for another $40 to $50 a share. Next thing you know, you're at $285, $290 a share, $300 a share. There you go. I mean, you're on your way. I mean, this will not end. And of course, every time it goes up $1, goes up $10, we are talking about billions of dollars of exposure that is out there to those who don't want to have that kind of exposure. They do not want to be short at $300 a share when they were just sitting at $177 the other day. You don't want that. Well, if you're a shorter, I'm warning you. You have no idea how close you are to the cliff. You have no idea how close you are to the cliff. It's a foggy day. You're walking along a path and everything's great, but you have no idea that just over here, about 5 feet over there, there's a drop that's down to the rocks that you're not going to like. And at any time, the ground could give way on you. You have no idea the tremors from beneath that are coming. But to each his own. If you've got the billions to play the game, God bless you for it, and hopefully you can handle it. All right, that could be created in 1 day or 2 weeks or 2 months. Just what Uncle Bruce just said. It is real. Let's go. What do you think about the inflation being hidden by the Fed? Someone was talking about Burry hinting that we're on the brink of another major market collapse regarding the bonds. The only way you're going to have a collapse is if people lose faith in the dollar. And what I mean by that is, if you are of the opinion that a $10 bill that you are handed, whoever gives this to you for whatever service or whatever reason, if you believe that tomorrow this note will buy you less than it buys you today, significantly less, then Houston, we have a problem. But as long as people who receive cash or receive a deposit or an electronic deposit into their account feel that they can spend it and get value that they're used to for the amount of money they're wanting to spend, unless unless that changes, there is no issue here whatsoever. In Venezuela, it has been the last decade now, you receive the equivalent of $100 in Venezuelan currency, which I think are bolivars. You receive those. Tomorrow, you get $90 worth of stuff. The day after tomorrow, you're down to $80 worth of stuff. In other words, cash is not king. Stuff is king. So if you buy this coffee mug in Venezuela today, tomorrow it's worth more money. And if you buy a dozen of these, they're worth, in a week, more money, because money keeps depreciating against stuff. Well, in the U.S., that's not the case. The American dollar is generally regarded globally as the standard currency of choice, the de facto mother currency against everything else. Everyone else is measured against the American dollar. And at this point, the American bonds pay a higher interest rate than German bonds pay, or even Italian bonds or Spanish bonds. And as long as that's the case, it seems to me that the world has not given up on the American dollar, although they are asking Americans to pay more for their money, for borrowed money. But as far as Americans are concerned, they're going, well, so what? My government can borrow money on a 10-year treasury at 1.65% for 10 years when inflation is 3%. That's called free money. That's money on sale. That's discounted money, the major discounted money to inflation. If a U.S. interest rates right now for U.S. bonds were 5% and inflation was 3%, now we have a problem because the American economy is losing 2% to inflation against the outside world, because it has to cough up more dollars to pay for its debts than inflation is affecting it. But at the moment, it's the opposite way around. It's been that way now for almost a decade as well. American governments can borrow money for less than the cost of inflation. That's a win for governments, a big win, and that's a solid U.S. economy. And the economic data coming out right now for the American economy is extremely good and very solid. So, no, I don't see this being a problem. I don't see inflation, that there's a big inflation problem out there. I don't see that. If the American currency was really getting rocked, I mean badly rocked, then everything coming into the U.S. would be extremely expensive. But I don't see that either. And I also see Americans with flush with more cash. That's the other positive thing about this market. The Americans are flush with more cash than before, and so that's adding to a stronger economy as well. Could be somewhat inflationary, but nothing dramatic. What stock would benefit from the infrastructure bill? Well, think about this, okay? If you're going to have a $500 billion a year, $400 billion a year influx of capital into your economy for the next 10 years from the U.S. government for infrastructure, anyone who is employed with any of these infrastructure projects will be benefiting from this enhanced activity. And then, of course, the spin-off effect is unbelievable. It's usually a 10-to-1 spin-off. So think about construction workers who are working on a brand new bridge that has to be built. That's going to take 5 years. You got guys employed for 5 full years employed. These guys spend dough on everything they need to live on for their families and automobiles and homes and everything else. That is spinning cash into the economy, which is creating job upon job upon job. You're talking about thousands of people per project here and there, depending on the size of these things. Airport rebuild. I mean, a 10-year. You want to rebuild LaGuardia in New York? You can't do it in 12 months. It's a 10-year project. You want to rebuild the airport in Philadelphia? You want to rebuild a new airport in St. Louis? So you want to. I mean, these are 10-year jobs, 10-year projects. Untold billions of dollars per untold high-scale jobs paying really good money. Yes, there are guys with brooms and shovels, but there are also guys with the white construction hats who are making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year, and they are spending this cash into their communities, which is just a massive spin-off effect. So you got the human element, but you also have the corporate element. So think about the idea of building out, re-renovating a major airport. You're probably talking about 200 different contracting companies that are big enough to be listed on the board. You know, that big plywood board they have telling you who's building all this stuff. All the bankers who are helping to finance it all of the suppliers who supply all the goods and services to these contractors. It's permeating through the entire U.S. economy. I mean, it is absolutely a major stimulus for the American consumer and the American corporate world. You could talk about steel and you could talk about concrete, sure, but where do you put the steel? When do you bring the concrete? You have to engineer it. You have to design it. You have to architecturally figure it out. You have all the permitting. You have all the legals. You have all the accounting. You have all the people with the white collar jobs behind the construction guys to figure all this out before these guys actually do their work and during the work. This is the spin-off effect. It is massive. It just goes throughout the entire system. Security companies, oh my gosh, all the spin-offs. And then, of course, once the airport is finished, the airlines who are servicing the servicing the airport, you're going to enhance probably efficiencies. You're going to enhance the capacity of cargo efficiency increases. The amount of after effect is massive. A new bridge, 6 lanes across a giant river, that bridge will service the country of the United States for a 100-year time frame if you maintain it properly every 5-10 years or so. The billions that a bridge spins off in indirect capital is just phenomenal. The amount of time saved for a detour around a non-bridge is another thing. If businesses can save 5 minutes a day each, 10, 20 times a day as they are crossing these bridges, the amount of time saved, the efficiency level just rises dramatically. It goes on and on and on. It is a fascinating rollover effect. Infrastructure, it's a huge positive move. All right. What else have we got going on here? Any other comments I need to worry about? Any complaints? Here we go. Someone's complaining about VGAC. Some days they drop in price. And right now, Virgin Group is at $10 a share. And that, to me, I look at this and go, this is an absolute giveaway. Whoever's selling this must have pressure that they, weren't expecting, or they've just lost patience, or they've given up and they're giving it up. And whoever's buying this, if they're buying this with a mind to say, I'm going to give this at least 3 months. I know that in the next month or so, this merger will be done. 23andMe will be doing, that's what this stock will be called, 23andMe, on the New York Stock Exchange. Someone's going to be sitting there going, in 3 months, this company will have already been trading as 23andMe for 2 months. I don't think the stock's going to be $10 either. I don't think so. I think it'll be much higher than that. But, some folks have to give it up, and I'm sorry it has to happen, but that's just the way it's going to go. What can I say? What else have we got here? Yes, sometimes people need a daily reminder. Stocks do go up and they do go down. Sometimes they go up fast, down fast. Sometimes they go up slowly and go down slowly. And that is the hardest thing to survive as an investor. A slow moving market, either down or up. It's a grind. It's a grind. So you've got to be able to tolerate the slow motion effect. It's just the way it is. Every stock held out there is owned by an investor, and every stock purchased is purchased by an investor. Every stock sold is sold by an investor, generally speaking, unless a corporation is raising money in the secondary market. And right now we're in quiet times. The Dow Jones Industrial and Index, which we have seen move 600 points during one of my live shows, is down 4 points today. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a thing. It's just a neutral day today. That's all that is. It's nothing personal. It's nothing sinister. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to care about. It's just a movement of 3.5 points. That's it. That's all we got today. And it's all right. Markets are allowed to do this from time to time. S&P down is up 5 points. NASDAQ down 9. We have a mixed market today. Oil up 24 cents to 59.59. GameStop 177.79. AMC 991 down 29 cents. That's the way this market is going right now. There's some green on the board. There's some red on the board. Some stocks are enjoying an up day. Others are not. And it's not a universal gain or a down day across the board for every stock out there. Perhaps shares in your portfolio are red today, and that's upsetting you. Perhaps you have stock in your portfolio that's green and it's elating you. But today we have a mixed bag in this marketplace. And that's just the way it is. And there's nothing we can do about it other than come back tomorrow and see what it wants to do then. 12 minutes to go. 12 minutes to go in the day. And this is what we have, folks. This is what we have. Thank you, everybody. NHS... Bruce, is NHS the ones that run the gathering up the info? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't even know what that is. What else have we got here? 4.4 million traded. If that's not a bat signal, I don't know what is. Wowzer. Yeah, volume on GameStop today, 4.42 million. Very quiet day. I bet you half of that is just day traders flipping it, and the rest is just calm trading. Frank Tron, thank you, Frank Tron, for becoming our latest member of this channel. We are now over 1,600 members here with Stock Markets with Bruce, and I welcome you to the club. I did a video earlier today. My editor helped me upload it, talking about Topps baseball cards from yesterday. I was talking about how, as a kid, I remember going with a buddy of mine to the corner store once in a while, and he would spend his allowance, and he'd buy up some cards, and he'd hand me the cards he didn't need anymore. There were times he would buy like 4 packs of cards, and the third pack, he'd open it up, and he would just give me all of it. He'd say, hey, I got all these. You can have this. And I mean, I'm just getting these gifts from a buddy of mine. That was pretty cool because I wasn't allowed to use my allowance to buy candy. That's not what my parents gave me money for. Allowance was given to me to save. How boring. But I got to say, as I became a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, I had money. I had a lot of money saved up, and I kind of liked it when I gave my dad a roll of quarters. I'd give him like 40 quarters. He'd give me a $10 bill. In Canada, those were purple. I'd have a purple note, $10 bill. And I'd give him $5 worth of dimes because he had his music store. He always needed change. Give him a roll of dimes, and he would give me a blue $5 bill. And I remember one year, I was probably about 11, and I had $20 in quarters, or I had a $10 bill, or 2 5s, and a roll of quarters. And I gave my dad $20, and he gave me a $20 bill, a green one. Oh, man. And I occasionally would be allowed to hold a $50 bill in my hand that my dad would occasionally get his hands on. And I would be able to study what a $50 bill looked like and give it back to him. And I remember occasionally seeing a $100 bill back. This would be in the 60s. And I believe at that time they were brown like they are now. And that was a real rare sight to see a $100 bill in Canada. Back in the 60s, because $100 in 1965, that's a month's rent on an apartment. I mean, think about living in Santa Monica, California right now, and you're in an apartment that runs you $1,500 a month. No one walks around with a $1,500 bill. There's no such thing, but a $100 bill back in the day would have paid for rent for 1 month. Those were precious, few and far between. No store could give you a change on it unless you went to a high-end retailer. Maybe like a jewelry store could probably handle a $100 bill if you made an $80 purchase. But back in the day, you made an $80 purchase in a jewelry store. That was a serious purchase. But I do remember the colors of the bills as I was growing up. And slowly from all the saving that my dad made me do, I built it up. The other thing I also did when I hung around the corner store is with my buddy all around the corner store, like within a block of any corner store back in the day. As a kid on a bike, if you had a little basket on you, you would find all these pop bottles lying around from time to time, these glass pop bottles, because cola used to be sold in glass bottles. And I would pick up these bottles, and I would get 5 of them, and that would get me 10 cents. I'd get a dime, and I'd take it in the store and get the dime, and I'd leave with it. I wouldn't spend it. And if I got lucky and I found maybe, 15 of them, 15 bottles in a good haul, that's 30 cents. I'd get a quarter and a nickel. Oh, man, the quarters were made of silver back then, pre-1968. You remember when you flipped a coin? You remember in the old days, you used to flip a quarter in the air or a dime into the air? The sound it would make, the little tinging sound, because there was silver in it. I remember after 1968, you flipped a quarter, and it was like flipping a piece of cork. It had no sound whatsoever. It was just made of nickel and copper. How sad was that? The cheapening of North America, sad. But I do remember quarters from 62, 3, 64, 65, 66, 67, fling them with your fingernail and ting. And you remember that sound? Oh, those are the good old days. Those days have left us, unfortunately. What can I say? Pesos have not silver, but they have that sound. Interesting, probably much better if you dropped it in a puddle. Yeah, the old days of money. You remember holding. Remember ever holding $100 bill in Italian? I'm Italian. My dad had stacks of hundreds. I always wondered how he had so much money. Did you ever wonder why his pals were always so big and beefy? It ever occurred to you that his friends were the slickest dressed tough guys you ever saw? Was there something about that? Why were their shoes so perfectly polished, and everyone respected your father and just almost kissed his pinky ring all the time? What was that all about with your dad anyway? I can't understand it. What was it all about with that? Beautiful sound, flipping up a coin. Pre-1964 quarters. Let's go. Yes, absolutely. Oh man. I got you going. Why were they kissing your dad's pinky ring all the time? What was that all about? I don't know. He's not a mobster. No, we're not saying that. $2 bills are smile factories. In Canada, we had $1 bills, $2 bills, $5 bills, 10s, 20s. In the Cayman Islands, when we moved there, you had $1 bills, 5s, 10s, 25s. Didn't have 20s. You had $25 bills in the Caymans. They had 50s and 100s. Interesting. He also wore a lot of fuzzy hats too. That someone was saying, these fuzzy hats all the time. Had all these beautiful women hanging around all the time. What was that all about? What was going on with that? I don't know. I know what's going to. I remember when the cost of candy bars went from a nickel to a dime. 100% increase. A real hit to a kid's allowance in the 60s. Oh, I remember that. Do you remember pinching pennies? Oh, do I ever. Pinching the pennies. Oh, yeah. Italians always have friends in the construction business. What's with that? What's with all that all the time? Thumbs up for Bruce. Thank you, James. I remember when a dime cost a dime. A dime bag cost a dime. Oh, that's awesome. La Costa Nostra. I have some $788 bills for sale. Line starts over there. Vlogging with Vinny. Hey, Vlogging with Vinny. Thanks for popping in and becoming a member of the channel. You're joining a good bunch of folks here, and we appreciate you coming by. We're down to 4 minutes to go before the end of the day here. I have a bunch of Iraqi dinars. Anybody want those? Uncle Bruce, no, you don't. You don't have the loonies and toonies and fun stuff up there. We all know what we do. We have loonies and toonies now, ones and twos. No $1 bills, no $2 bills. Our first bill is a $5 bill. That's the first one. We don't have pennies anymore either. Pennies are done. We start with nickels. So we don't have pennies anymore. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Everyone's here. Vlogging with me says thank you very much. Ron, I am Dutch, and my dad was a magician. When I peeked through the bedroom door keyhole, I saw him laying flat on his belly with his knees up in the air. Laugh out loud. Oh, we are having fun today. Oh man, we're having fun today. No pennies. Oh man. It's great to have you part of the best channel on the trading block. Oh my gosh. I have an Iraqi bill with Saddam Hussein on it. Yes, Saddam Hussein. Oh my. He had a sudden and quick ending, didn't he? That kind of didn't work out for him at the end. What are you going to do? We are getting ready to shut this market down. Last minute of trading going through right now. Watching to see the final run on this market. We are down 7.5 points on the New York Exchange, and we're up 3.8 on S&P. We're down 16 on NASDAQ. This is a flat day today, kids. Sorry to say, but it is what it is. Jane is laughing. Ray is laughing. So is 010 Gaming. Well, Andrew Jackson wasn't much better. There you go. Bruce, I have an option expiring next Friday. This particular stock hasn't gone up as quickly as I expected. Please hold me. Oh, man. Saddam Hussein is more like so damn insane. Sal, Ron, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. Come on, for a common phrase among the Dutch in Canada. Barry, when I had a quarter for candy, I concluded Three Musketeers was the best volume price value. There you go. I used to remember as a kid, occasionally I would be able to buy something. I know that I would go across the street from my dad's music store with my dad's manager, and he would take me along because we were going to come back with there were like 4 or 5 guys in the shop. We'd come back with a bunch of pop bottles and stuff, and he'd buy me a pop, and he'd buy me an O. Henry chocolate bar. What chocolate bar you want? Oh, O. Henry. I always got an O. Henry chocolate bar. And I loved those O. Henrys when I was a kid because we'd come back into the store and I'd sit in the corner with my real Coca-Cola because there was no such thing as Diet Coke. They had Tab. Who drank that? I had my Coke and I had an O. Henry chocolate bar, and I'd sit in the corner while the guys shot the breeze over here. Cigarettes going, drinking pop, and shooting the breeze. And I would nibble on my O. Henry chocolate bar all around the outside, and I would nibble off the chocolate first for the first inch of the bar, and then I would nibble off the peanuts and the nougat, and then what would be left in the middle would be that what is that? What's that nougat in the middle of an O. Henry bar? Was that what it was? Like a toffee nougat or something? Yeah, that was all that was left. And I would eat another inch of the bar, the chocolate, and then the peanuts, and then the nougat would be 2 inches long. And then I would nibble off the nougat, and I'd start all over again. That's how I loved to eat a chocolate bar when I was like 10. It says a lot about my personality. I don't know. Goofy, probably. Sad, definitely. Disturbed, very likely. We're closed now. That's it. We're up 19 points on the Dow with a little surge at the end. Very surprising. Nice little pop there. 5-point gain on S&P, a 9-point loss on NASDAQ. So we had a nice little pop at the end of the day on the market. Didn't affect GameStop in any way whatsoever. 177.78 down 672 was the last trade. It's now 178.25, up 50 cents since the last trade. So a down day on GameStop of a few bucks, nothing to get excited about, and it's now in the aftermarket. 177.91, 178.25. That's where it is right now. But oh yes, I do remember occasionally having a treat like that, but it would have to be purchased for me. I would almost never spend my own money on this kind of stuff. And so these young guys, they're. I remember stuff like being in my dad's music store at age 10, 11, and my dad would be there, and a customer would be there, and the manager for my dad would be there, and one of them needed cigarettes. They were out of smokes. You remember this? They would say to me, go over to the tobacco store, buy me a pack of Players, king size, filter, whatever, and they'd even write it down on a piece of paper, exactly the kind of cigarettes they wanted, and they'd hand me a $2 bill. And they'd say to me, go over there and get me a pack of smokes and buy yourself a pop and an O. Henry chocolate bar. Talk about the win of wins. I'd go over there, and the store owner would sell a 10-year-old kid a pack of smokes because I'd be sitting there with a note going, my dad's manager needs a Players camera. Oh, yeah, I know what he wants. I got him. And I said, I need a pop and an O. Henry chocolate bar. Hand him $2 and he'd give me 10 cents back or something like that. I'd come back and hand the manager his cigarettes, and I got my cola and my chocolate bar, and I hand him his change, and he looks at, here, this is for you. You keep the change. 10 cents change? Are you kidding me? Oh, even the dime, if you flip the dime, it would make that ting sound because it was made of silver too. Back in the 60s. Oh man, it paid to be the runner, the little runt that ran all over the place. Whatever you want me to do. And of course, my dad from time to time would send me on an errand, head down to the store over there. There's the store that sells office supplies, and I want you to buy, I'm going to give you, he would give me a sheet of paper that he would use for bookkeeping. He would give me one of these sheets of paper. He said, take the sheet of paper with you and go over to that store and tell him you want a ream of this stuff. It comes in like 100 at a time. And he would hand me a $5 bill from the store's till, or a $2 bill, or whatever it was, and bring back a receipt. So I would go over there and I'd show them what I need, and we'd find it, and they'd ring it up and give me an invoice, and I'd pay for it, get the receipt, and everything in a bag, come back to the store, hand my dad everything, and he'd pull it all out, get the receipt. Yep. Oh, that's exactly it. Good job. Well done. And then back to work, polishing, cleaning the glass on the glass counters with Windex. Sweeping the floors, dusting the guitars, tuning the guitars from time to time, and cleaning up that shop. That was my job. And they kept me in Coca-Cola, chocolate bars, or a bite to eat, or whatever we had to do. Yep. Those are the days I learned all about retail and how that worked. 4.5 million volume on GameStop. It's ridiculous. It is what it is. 4.6 million shares, final volume of the day. Closing 177.78, down 672. Aftermarket, not much better. AMC closed at 986, down 34 cents on the day on 27.9 million. Not good days at the AMC side of the story, unfortunately. And most of the SPACs were all in the red except for Fortress Value. 1011 up 14 cents today. How about Fortress? Very interesting. Vanek Vector's Semiconductor Fund down 58 cents. Not bad for a $253 unit. Home Depot down $1.12, down to $3.12 a share. IBM up 72 cents. Dow Jones up 16 points. Microsoft up $2. Apple down $1.69. Tesla down $20. Not much to get excited about this market, unfortunately. That's all we've got. Not much else to tell you. All right. I joined your channel, Bruce, says Vlogging with Vinny, because I wanted to say thank you. I'm a new investor, wrapping up my first year of investing, which I started about a year ago, next month with FCEL, and that investment has me hooked ever since. Way to go, man. Glad you're here, and I hope you're enjoying the chat and the stories, and we're following the markets and just see what's going on. What can I say? Dana, money wrapped up in 2,000 shares of GameStop, or I would have bought more. That's it. Hang on to those shares. Three Musketeers. That's the truth. Good value for your money on Three Musketeers. Sal is laughing. Oh, Henry is yummy too. Oh, I love those Oh Henry chocolate bars. Baby Ruth and Paydays are the most underrated candy bars. What's your favorite candy bar? Let's talk about the candy bars, kids. Oh, tell me what got you hooked when you were a kid. What was the candy bar you ate, and through your teenage years and your college years and everything else? What candy bar have you been hooked on? We call that Mexican Coke now, says Colin dangerously. The real sugar cola. Yeah, pretty sure we're getting trolled in the L2 data, someone is saying, Nick saying. Cane sugar, Coca-Cola, the real deal. That's right. Tab wasn't that bad. Oh, I couldn't stand it back in the day. I never drank Tab. Of course, when you're a 10-year-old kid, you're burning off all the energy you can get. What do you need it for? Those days. J. Ray, James Word, JJ Gunn, 177.97 official close, is what they say. John Van closed at 177.78. I'm a cookies and cream Hershey's man myself. There you go. Nougat. Yes, the nougat in the middle of an O. Henry chocolate bar. Oh, you used to eat all around it to get to the nougat and enjoy that last sweet treat at the very end. Vlogging, this is a great community. Trust me, if you need more specific advice, I'm sure many people will recommend Bruce's one-on-one sessions. Something to think about. How's your first year? Oh, fantastic. I enjoy these one-on-one sessions whenever I have them with you guys. Saturdays and Sundays is when I do my one-on-ones. And they're great. I really look forward to them. I find it so interesting that I'll talk to someone. In the first hour, they'll be in Europe. The second hour, they're in California. Third hour, someone is from Ireland. Fourth hour, someone's from Florida. I mean, you never know where the next call is coming from. It's pretty cool. All over the place. Fantastic. A pop. Bruce has Midwestern history. Got to have a pop. Milky Way, Heath, and the 100,000 bar. There is the chocolate bar of choice. What a slow day, eh? Yeah, what a slow day, eh? And now I'm hungry. Ashley, when my grandfather would come visit, he would give me $1. He called it dues. I would ride my bike up to Roy's Hobby Shop in Summit, New Jersey, and buy a model airplane. Spend the day building it. Oh, man. I would remember friends of mine in the neighborhood I used to live in when I was like 8, 9 years old. And grandparents would come to our neighbor's house. And sure enough, the kid would come out. You know, the young boy would come out. The sister would come out. And the sister would hang out with my sister. And I would hang out with the guy. And he'd say to me, I just got $1. Let's go to the store. And so we get on our bikes and haul down to the store. And he would pick up a popsicle. You remember the popsicles that had 2 sticks? We'd come out the store and he'd break the popsicle in half on the door frame, and he'd give me half and he'd have half, and we would enjoy a popsicle. Those were a nickel. He'd still have 95 cents left over in cash. Of course it was cash, because it was all cash. Back into the store after finishing the popsicle, and he'd buy a couple of packs of cards and buy a chocolate bar, get a pop. Oh man, we'd walk around, come back out. You still have 50 cents left over. 50 cents left over. Oh, rolling in cash because you could roll the cash. It was in coins. Oh my gosh, what a pig out. What a man. Whenever grandma and grandpa came over, those were good times for my friends. Yes, I would try to hang out with these guys. I'm eating a Baby Ruth come into video, y'all talking about Baby Ruth. I'm so confused. We are closed. Massive day for GameStop. Woohoo, go GameStop. Oh man. J Ray, Costco has Mexican Cokes for $22 a case. Oh my gosh. Nutritious, I don't know, nutritious. 177. I'm showing 178.24 now as the final close on GameStop. I don't know. Sorry, that was my dog. S official. Ashley, such a nice memory. JJ Gunn, I think you may have a career officiating the close. Nicholas, Bruce, you were talking about the old Texas Instruments calculator that you had in the 70s. I'm friends with an old timer like you, and he helped to invent the very first Bomar calculator. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I know I have it somewhere in the house. One of these days I'll find it and I'll show it to you. It was about 6 inches long and about 5 inches wide, and it was not very thick. And and at the end it had a little screen that was on an angle, and it had the big blocky buttons, which I love this machine. I used this calculator right up until, oh gosh, I had it in my my last retail store. I've used it for years and years and years, and I've changed batteries in it a million times. It still works. I mean, they're great. Yeah, the old calculator, Texas Instruments calculator. Oh man, that's what I'm going for, says JJ. Give this man a thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Bertie, I just got a speeding ticket. I signed it with GME. Cop asked what that meant. I replied, that's who's paying for it. GameStop is paying for this ticket. Antoinette, 177.97. And Fidelity, I'm showing 178.24. We'll take the higher price. Jeanette, Odom, SOS Limited, anything, Uncle Bruce, anything on SOS. Do you know anything about it? SOS. Everyone asks me about SOS. I don't follow SOS. What is it? SOS, it's SOS Limited, ADR, on the New York Stock Exchange, trading at 577. The low 83 cents, the high 1588. And what is it? It's a holding company which provides marketing data, technology, and solutions to the emergency rescue services in China. Man, it focuses on the research and development of big data, cloud computing, Internet of Things, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. I don't know. I don't know anything about these guys. I don't follow them. I don't know about them. I hope you're making money on it, but I can't tell you what to do with it. Tony Alto, a slow poke caramel candy on a stick. Cynical Savior, a new member to this channel, the newest, greatest, latest member to join up. Thank you. You are joining an elite group of YouTube followers, over 1,600 strong, that are now members of this channel. And you now get to use emojis. You get to make comments on this live show. You get to use emojis on any comments you make on any of my videos. And you will be receiving from time to time alerts at any time, day or night, from yours truly, whenever something's going on in the market you should be aware of, or I'm adding a new stock to the recommended list for Stock Markets with Bruce followers. You're now going to be updated with alerts before the rest of the market gets the handle on it. So if I find a stock that I think you should know about, you'll be alerted about it before the rest of the channel is alerted about it, because they're not members. Only members get this info, and you'll have a couple of days head start to check out a new stock. So thank you for joining us, and welcome to the club. And I hope you're having a good time with us. So the amount of diabetes I was given as a child is a war crime. Sugar being dipped into sugar. I mean, come on. Bruce, do you know how to get a one-armed blonde girl out of a tree? Ansel will follow. Oh, no. This can't be good. This can't be good. Jonathan, forget the stock, Bruce. How do you eat a Kit Kat? We're all wondering. How do you eat a Kit? I mean, forget the stock market, Bruce. How do you eat chocolate bars? I mean, how do you do? Oh man! Overall, I'm up about 900%, which is why I've been hooked. Then I got caught up in GME since the gaming is a massive part of my life. Right on, man. You're a lifer now. You're in here, cynical survival. Welcome to the channel where we talk about how to eat the right way, how to eat a No Henry chocolate bar. Let me tell you right now. Oh, the fun. Oh, true story. Pack of smokes is $10 now. Yeah, things have changed, and no kid can walk into a pharmacy. You try to send in a 10-year-old kid to go buy you a pack of smokes. Oh man, that child will be taken to child services. You'll be arrested for child cruelty. Oh, the world has changed. Oh, players were good but expensive. Oh man, welcome to the new ape in the bagel family. Oh, hi. Waffle Raptor. Me too. Welcome, guys. Brucey, did you ever get to read Jamie Dimon's shareholder letter? Really great view. I heard today he's talking about the economy could be hot for a while. I'm amazed I have teeth, says Wizard Owl. How do I have teeth left with all that candy I had? Vlogging with Vinny, what have you invested into? Oh my, observe thyself is smiling. Barry Jam, keep in mind, 1 billion to 1 and 3.5 million is $285 a share. So if GameStop raises $1 billion and they want to issue 3.5 million shares to do it, they got to do it at $285 a share. Could it be a hint from GameStop that the price point that they're waiting to sell the stock at is going to be no less than $285 a share? Could that be a hint? I mean, it's $1 billion for 3.5 billion shares, 3.5 million shares. That's $285 a share. I was just thinking if they raised $1 billion from 3.33 million shares, or 3 million shares, that's $333, right? And if they raised $1 billion with only 2.5 million shares, that's a lot more money. $400 a share. I'll get the math yet. Yes, cigarettes are bad, kids. Yeah, they're bad, but not if you buy them for your parents. If you're buying for your parents' employees, that's not bad. I mean, if the pack is $1.75 and he gives you $2 and says, go buy me a pack of Players, and you go into the store and he says, you can have the quarter for yourself. Hey, you're buying a pop for $0.10, a chocolate bar for $0.05, and you're keeping the 10 cents change. This is a good gig for a kid who's 10 years old. That's how kids make money, I don't care what you have with it. You can smoke the cigarettes all you want. Just give me the change. My dad had me selling cigarettes out of the back of a truck. In some of the finest neighborhoods in Long Island. To some of the finest people in Long Island, including police officers. As a matter of fact, I remember giving police officers cartons of cigarettes, and there were $100 bills stuffed in them. Oh, some of the finest men in blue. Oh, my. Where have I seen this before? I've seen this before. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen something like this before somewhere. Yeah, and when I turned 17, 18, I was the best dressed kid in the neighborhood, but I never did finish high school. But I had money, man. Colin, Jujubes used to chew those up at the Dollar Theater and throw them at the screen during bad movies. Jujubes. Here are cigarettes between 3.5 and 5 pounds now. Oh my gosh, Walter, me too, Wizard. Where are my teeth? Cigarettes, $4 a pack in Japan. Oh man, ting, yeah, ting. Goes the quarter into the air. Cynical, welcome. I remember getting a 50 cent a coin. I used to get a half a dollar. You'd go my dad would have a 50 cent coin in his till, and I remember I would take back the empties that were piled up during the week from the bathroom. In the bathroom, the managers, all these guys would drink pop, and the manager would pop the bottles in the bathroom floor, because he told these guys, if you have an empty, just give me the empties, because the owner's son comes here every Saturday. He dusts up the whole store, cleans up all the guitars, tunes the guitars, cleans the floor. No, I don't have to do it, but he gets the bottles as a reward, and he cashes them in. And I remember one time I had I think I had a quarter. I had 25 cents from empties, took back 13 or 14 of them. I had a quarter, and I made a deal with my dad. I said, Dad, you got a 50 cent coin in the till. I'll make you a deal. I'll give you this quarter now, And when we get home, I'll give you another quarter that I've got in my savings, and I'll buy that 50-cent coin off you. He said, you got a deal. So he took the coin out of the till, put it in his pocket, says, when we get home, it's yours. I said, that's a deal. I got a quarter in my pocket. And so when we got home, I gave him 2 quarters, and he gave me the 50-cent piece, and now I had a 50-cent piece. Oh, that was pretty cool. They went ting as well in the old days. Oh, my dad sent me for his cigars at age 9. These are the good old days. This is when you grew hair on your chest as a boy, and you bought your dad's his smokes or his pipe or his cigars or whatever you had to. You went in there that's where the men hung out, man. That's how you became a man. Not now. A 20-cent pack of cigarette. Oh my gosh, Skippy. Renewable energy mostly. Cody, when I used to smoke cigarettes were 50 cents. Wally's World. Canadians know the way. Where was Ryan Cohen raised? Where does Uncle Bruce live? Where are we all going when the shutdowns are lifted? The Great White North. That's where we're going. Wally's. I just love Canada, and I proved it when my Jen and I did get married in your great country 24 years ago. It would be one heck of a honeymoon 25 years later. There you go. Matthew, what is the worst case scenario for retail traders in GameStop? Any downside at this point beside patience? Yes, right now you gotta just be calm and carry on and run through it, hang on and just wait it out. Well, and I'm showing GameStop final trade at 177.97. It's just jumping around out there. Downside for the retail investors. Well, if the company wants to raise $1 billion by selling 3.5 million shares, that's $285 a share. That'd be pretty cool if that were to happen. Not saying it will, but someone did say that could be a hint. I don't know. The directors, waiting for the directors, and then see what it does. I just have a vibe we're going higher. I just feel we're going higher. A pack here in New Jersey is $10 now. Cigarettes cost a lot more in the long run. That's true. Ashley, I stole a cool menthol at 8 years old, tried to light it, blowing out, inhaled, turned green, puked. That's the end of that. Oh, man. Free thinker. Last time volume was this low was February the 23rd. J. Ray, I wish they had made pack of cigarettes with 5 in them. It would help me quit. JJ, check it out. 145,000 sell, literally 2 seconds. I don't know what that means. Jim Pollock, carton of Sportsman king size for my dad when I was 10 was $11. I was able to walk in and buy a carton of cigarettes, no problem at all. At age 10, no problem at all. I had no problem. I would walk into the local the tobacco. It was a tobacco shop. Was right across the street from my dad's store, just a couple of stores over. The tobacco store. In the back was the pool hall. They played pool back there, and in the front of the store they had the Coke machine where you opened the lid and then you had to pull the bottle out because they were held up in ice cold water, and they had these jaws, and you had to. I'm not sure if you had to put the money in the machine or how that worked, but you pulled the bottle out because they would be standing up straight in rows, nice and chilled from this cold ice water way back in the day. Oh, I tell you. And then they had the rack of chocolate bars, all the newspapers, and then behind the owner were all the cigarettes. And I would come in there and say, I need a pack of Players filters. King size filters or whatever they were, and he'd recognize me. He's the kid's from the music store. The dad sent him over here, or Mr. Dressler, the employee sent him over. It wasn't for me. I'm just happy to be there. I'm being sent on errands. All the kids did that. It was just the way it was. Free thinker McJones. Good point. Breaking news. Is that right? It's passed. FINRA report the GameStop revolution in 6 bullet points with Mason and whatever. Please review this, uncle. Review this. I'll figure out the lingo. Cody, unfortunately, they do. Next door to my dad's bakery was an Italian barber shop. Next door to my dad's bakery was an Italian barber shop. We used to hang out there. Unreal, the stories we would hear. Kids were invisible to grown-ups. as long as you were in there and you shut the hell up, you could listen to stories all day long. And I heard stories in my dad's music store. Oh, yeah, the boys would come in there hanging out with the manager and just sharing war stories about playing gigs at bars and traveling on the road. And, oh, yeah, you heard it all. Bertie, if I had a hedgie approach me holding a gun to my head asking for my GameStop or my firstborn, I would reply, I'm an ape, take my son. Free think. Call 1-800, try to stop if you're in America, and they will send you a bunch of free nicotine patches. Ashley, kids that are silent and are not heard learn the most if they can listen. That's right. That's right. I shut the hell up and I listened and I heard stuff. Oh my. And my buddies back at the neighborhood, they didn't know any of this stuff. They didn't know any of these stories. They were oblivious to the real world out there. I grew up awful fast. Yes, says Blair. Free thinker, that's at least 2,000 GameStop, 2 GameStop a month, whatever. Take 5. Payday, a Payday chocolate bar. I love Almond Joy, coconut, and chocolate. Oh my goodness. Twix, love the Twix bar. Nutritious, I like Paydays too. Reese's peanut butter cups. Mr. Gold bar. Charleston Chew in the fridge. Oh, Wally's World. James, Ledesma, Baba Root, JJ, Payday, very underrated, but Milky Way is insane. I occasionally would have a Mars bar, but Oh Henry all the time. Oh Henry, the chocolate, the peanuts, the nougat. Oh yeah, Milky Way and Hershey bars, Mars bars. I remember we had at my mom and dad's house back in 1963, 64. Once a month or so, every second month, we had a gentleman come to visit that was one of my father's childhood friends from Lithuania, from way back when. We called him Uncle Harry. Harry came over. Uncle Harry. He wasn't related to us by blood, but we all called him Uncle Harry, kind of like Uncle Bruce. And Uncle Harry drove a black Volkswagen Beetle. He had a jet black Volkswagen Beetle. And he was really good with his hands. He was working in a plastics company, doing plastics injection molding and all this stuff. Really good with his hands, and he made okay money. And when he came to the house to visit, he would drop me and my sister a great big Nestle's chocolate bar. Big. These cost like 40 cents. 40 cents for the giant chocolate. They were this big. They were this big like this, because in my hand, they were huge. And my mom would say, you can only eat 1 row of chocolate bar per day, and this would last like a week. I mean, these things were huge. So my mom would open up the bar and break off the one end, and I would be given my 5 or 4 pieces of this chocolate bar, and then the rest would go into storage somewhere. My mom would and she would dole out a little bit of the chocolate bar for days and days and days. I didn't mind. That was great. But yeah, he would hand us this gigantic chocolate bar. Oh man, that was something. Butterfinger, says Justin. Butterfinger. Oasis, my favorite candy bar is GameStop, aka 100 grand. That's my favorite chocolate bar. Almond Joy for the win too. Charleston Chew. Ashley, Butterfinger and Snickers bars, Paydays and Reese's. John Anderson, Payday bars, Twix and Snickers for sure. We all know what you guys love for candy bars. What did you eat when you were kids? What candy bars did you have when you were teenagers? Oh my gosh. Jim Bollock, a winner. Bruce, what will a Snickers candy bar cost in exactly 628 days? Matthew, cotton candy was the best ever. Wally's, or just all the kits and cats at the same time. How many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? Oh, man. Too funny. 346. I want my money back. Laugh out loud. Bruce, you just got a wave at that blonde girl. Matthew Dolan, love cotton candy. Jane Doe, 1, 2, 3 country. My wife is blonde, so I'm sure I've heard them all. I think I missed the punchline because I missed a bunch of messages. They just skipped on me. At 10 years old, I used to ride my bike. Mom didn't know a few miles while collecting glass Coke bottles off the sides of the road, buy candy and another Coke, investing in my future even back then. Yeah, I remember I used to drive around the neighborhood looking for empties as a kid because they were 2 cents each. You get 2 cents. and get 5 of them and you can get a pop, or if you can get 3 of them, you get a chocolate bar. Yeah, man. Oh, Cody, I had a wasabi Kit Kat the other day. Surprisingly, not bad. Yeah, right, Wizard. Oh my game, you are correct. Ron laughing. Bruce, did you know that American milk chocolate has the same enzyme found in it as puke? Hershey milk chocolate is made by literally souring milk. It's terrible. Cody, that's a hard pass. Jim and this one. What is a blonde with $5 bill on her head? Oh, I don't want to know. These are insulting. I don't want these. Oh, we can't do that. Cody Mills, is that one from Japan? Green tea Kit Kat is also good. A true deal. A true deal. Let's see. Overpaid. I had an apple pie Kit Kat last week. An apple pie Kit Kat. Really? Is that true? At 8 years old, I was buying for 45 cents a Camel non-filter. Oh my God. Haven't heard that one. Yeah, I live in Japan. Lots of Kit Kat flavors in Japan. Wasabi, passion fruit, strawberry, whiskey, all kinds of Kit Kats in Japan. Wally's World. Oh my gosh. Jim, can you get all you can get for under $5? Oh my gosh. Frankie, Goodfellas, laugh out loud. Back in the day, so much less politically correct than now. That's right. That's right. And the cartons fell off the truck in Brooklyn. Oh, I'm sure they did. Goodfellas, Bronx Tale. I paid $50 for a highlighted massage. I haven't seen it. Goodfellas. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Goodfellas. Oh my God. A Simpler Time. Cody Miles, makes sense. I had a green one from Japan, but couldn't read the flavor. Not bad though. Let's see. To the moon, Alice. Oh man. Need the ting emoji. The ting emoji. Flipping that quarter up in the air, hearing that sound it used to make. Oh man, Cody Miles, I bet you had all kinds of crazy snacks over there. Butterfinger, nibble off the chocolate and chomp on that peanut butter crunchy chew. Maybe that's where Ryan Cohen gets inspired from the name Chewy. How come I can't highlight people's names? I don't know. On the other side of the Berlin Wall, didn't get those fancy candy bars. No, I guess not. Let's see here. Oh my goodness gracious. The old days. I bought my dad smokes, but didn't want hair on my chest. I bought him the cigarettes, just gave them to him. Didn't want the hair on the chest. That's right. Waffle Raptor. There's so many good snacks here, but one thing's thin. Not me anymore. I'm not thin anymore. Candy bars and coinage with Bruce. So if my $5 MSG wasn't read, do I get a refund? If my $5 message, did you send me a message and I didn't read it? Let me take a look at your message. Hang on. See if I can find your message for you. Let me double check here. I've got to do some digging now. You got me working here. Let's go here. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look here. Messages. Mr. T, life is like a box of chocolates. It doesn't last as long for fat people. Jeanette, SOS Limited, anything Uncle Bruce, Wizard Owl, why wouldn't the hedge fund take advantage of lower prices now, instead suffer at much higher prices? What was your message today? Where are you? Who was it? I'm just in for the food. Did you send me a message under that name? Yeah, here, my buddy just texted me saying he bought $10. No, my best friend just messaged saying he bought 10 $100 each or puts April 30s. I told him he's crazy. He said, one of this will make money. He's crazy, right? Love the stream. Okay, so your buddy just texted you and said he bought 10 $100 put April 30th contracts for GameStop. That's what I'm assuming your message is. That's what your friend did. Am I right on that? We'll see if he makes any money on this. I remember when I was 7, my mom would send me and my little brother down to the store to buy chicken when it was on sale for 10 cents a pound. Remember that? I used to pick up smokes for my great aunt until she died of lung cancer. True story. There you go. Waffle, Cody Miles, I'll be right there with your brother, and I can try them all. Let's see. No dummy. It's a donation. Nothing is promised. Oh, okay. If you want to read it, don't donate during rants. Oh, okay. No need in name calling. I just didn't know that. It's okay. 2 seconds after hours, 145,000 sell order on GameStop. Laugh out loud, 2 seconds after hours. Let me take a look at GameStop's after hours trading, GME here. There we go. Pop that up there. Volume on GameStop, 18,300 shares today. So nothing on the GameStop volume, 178 last trade. So nothing there. Maybe a few seconds before. Jim Pollock for Christmas. Cliff Smoke Shop and Bar, Lincoln, Nebraska. Cliff ran the smoke shop, and his brother was a former New England governor, or is that Nebraska governor? I'm not sure what's going on here. Betsy, his wife, ran the bar during the day and attorney hours. Laugh out loud. Michael said he'll get into it. Wally, Ashley, I'll play Shoplifters of the World for you in the Bagel Lounge. The Smiths will be there too. Oh my gosh. Way back when. Let's see here. Do you remember the glass Coke bottles that preceded the plastic 2-liter bottle? I do. Do not drop on your toe. Owie, I do remember the big glass bottles. Those were so heavy, empty or full. They were heavy. Yes, I remember those. Ask again. Sometimes people pump good questions that are missed. Ashley, I was part of the great water pistol caper at Woolworths once upon a time. Bruce, I'm wearing my bagel sweatshirt watching you right now. Right on. Ouch, I did that. I dropped the bottle on my toe. Free thinker. Okay, cool. So I can stop saying I love you. Big glass Coke bottles. I just remember the last glass pop bottles of Main Street Pop. I remember the pop machines that were outside, and you had to put a dime in, and then you could open the door and you could pull the bottle out. It would be in the jaws of life, you know. And if you put a dime in, it would allow you to pull one bottle out at a time. I remember those way back when. I remember a teaser in a glass bottle with a 20p return. Woolworth, well, that was a while ago. Ashley, you're so right. The Smiths are the year of GameStop 2. Discord is awesome. Nutritious is a real candy bar. I'm not trolling. Nutritious is a candy bar. I don't remember this one. That's why I'm clueless. I need all the help I can get. Who else is saying hi? Oh, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. I saw the first plastic Coke bottle ever in the 70s. It just looked like an old glass ones. My dad was a project manager at Union Camp plant. I remember when they shifted those. Nutritious is a good candy, definitely not nutritious. So Wally, I played that song when I scanned Wall Street Bets, and it gave me inspiration to keep going, Ashley. Jack, I remember RR Colo had a redeemable top on glass bottles for 5 or 10 cents. Do you remember the cork lining on the inside of a pop bottle from way back? You remember that? Like way back, you would buy a bottle of pop, you pop it open, and then you would peel off the cork on the inside of the lid, and it would say on the inside whether you won something or not. You remember that? They had a contest, and it was you had to remove the cork lining to see if you won something. You remember that? Way back when. Way back when. Marathon Bar. Oh, Clark Bar. Let's see. Burton's Potato Puffs. I'm going to have to run to the store here. Those little pieces in the Hershey bar are called PIPs. Mounds bars. You remember those? Y'all going to make me break into my chocolate bars and drop them into my PB jar. Crunch, Mr. Good Bar. Give some love to M&M's. Yep, the glass monsters would break a toe easily. You'd break your toe easily if you dropped it. Laughing out loud. Crunch, Marathon Bar, Twisted Caramel on chocolate. So sorry, too many long nights on Wall Street Bets listening to the Smiths. Frozen Snickers. Oh, man. Chocolate-covered bacon. Oh, my gosh. What is that? If GameStop reaches 800 shares, I'll pay my 10% Uncle Bruce tax. How about that? Hit the like button. It helps Bruce. Yep, there's an apple pie flavor of Kit Kat. Can you believe it? Marathon bars were like 2 feet long. These things are huge. Everyone should check out Snack Crates. It's about $30 a month to have a couple of boxes of international snacks sent to your home every month. Jerry Springer, please. Save Wall Street Bets. You are needed here. You are needed there. Cody, oh no, poor message guy. Curly Whirlies and Crunchies. Laffy Taffy. Do you remember? You remember the Macintosh taffy bars? You remember those? You ever have those in the U.S.? Canada, we had Macintoshes, big Macintosh bars with the taffy. You break them off. Free thinker. This is another user's joke you missed the other day. What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. Armadillos, crunchy on the outside, squishy on the inside. Armadillos. I love Kinder. Ken, Cody, yeah, that one broke my heart, laughing out loud. For the best candies and snacks, come visit Holland. All welcome here. Free thinker, I like that one. Our what is that? Our Stroop waffles from Holland. Someone's going, aye. Ron Whip, I'm holding you to that once COVID is over. Ashley, I love the 8-ounce Cokes. One of my best memories in summer sidewalk cafes in Paris in the 70s. 8-ounce Coca-Colas. T. Leonard became a new member of this channel. Welcome, T. Leonard, to the gang here. Nice to have you in here. Andrew, pretty quick. I'm having an attack of nostalgia. BRB. Be right back. Since until then, stay away from that trap door because there's something down there. Welcome, Len, to the family. Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups all day long. Welcome, Leonard. Jane Doe, you're all welcome here. Welcome all. Leonard, welcome. Stop by GameStop over the weekend to renew membership and new Xbox controller. Told the clerk I spent my time listening to you to discuss GameStop on YouTube all day long. The employees of GameStop are wondering, what are these people talking about? What are they doing? Ron, thumbs and shades. Farragon, early 1980s at 13, my brother, and my dad started a newspaper patrol. Suburban families filling up the family car with papers and delivering in the city. My brother and I were rolling in dough. Right on. Didn't we all see The Gods Must Be Crazy? Derek, a new member. Derek, welcome to the gang, to the family, to the group. Nice to have you here, Derek Fairchild, the latest, greatest member. T. Leonard saying hello, everybody. CT is going Nebraska. Waffle, I did Vilba's. That was interesting. The Gods Must Be Crazy. Welcome, Derek, to the family. Ha ha. We're all having fun here. The stories in the cliffs were epic. Stock markets with Bruce. You tell everyone that your Discord is free, and it really shouldn't be. Thank you. There is a Discord. I just don't know. I keep forgetting about how it works and stuff. I'm not into this stuff, but there is a Discord channel for this. Somehow there's a group of you that do this. It's unbelievable. You guys are awesome. Cody, wow, haven't thought of that movie in forever. Have a Coke and a Smile. I got my ears pierced at Woolworths. I like my bagel mug. Holds loads of coffee. Right on. They had us watch that in high school. RC Cola is really good. Jane Doe, that's a wow. It's nutritious. It's nutrageous, Uncle Bruce. It's nutrageous. Wow, having a plastic bottle would be like having Uncle Bruce's mug in a few years. What can I say? Thank you for picking these up on Redbubble. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, still drinking the cola. The DC have mods. Liam, hey, Bruce, if you were a hedge fund and you knew everybody is waiting for a squeeze, what would you do personally to reduce your short position without causing it to go? That's the problem. How do you get out from under it? I don't want to give these guys advice. They might take it, so I hope they get squeezed. Stock markets with Bruce, nutrageous. Think outrageous but with nut, like walnut. You're killing me, laughing out loud. Nutrageous. What can I say? Nutrageous. I don't know. I'm from Canada, man. They didn't have that in Canada. Uncle Bruce has Discord. Apparently we do. Church Keys, Jolt. I'd forgotten about all those cork liner linings in pop bottles until you mentioned them. That's right. I remember you used to use your thumb, and you had to get your thumb in there or your finger, and you had to get that cork to let go. And you remember those Opal Fruits? Ashley, it was when I was within riding a bike distance. Uncle Bruce needs a Fidelity after hours chart. Remember the glass marble that closed the old pop bottles? You used to put the thing in it. Didn't you have the metal thing that snapped it shut? Was that what it was? I can't remember. I remember then I went from cork to rubber lining deals with win big prizes. It was like a plastic lining now. The last I saw, and then of course with the plastic bottles, you have to twist off caps, and then you have the caps inside. They're all plastic, and you try to get those off, and it tells you whether you're a winner or not. I love plain old Mr. Goodbar and Hershey chocolate with almonds. Ray says we're at 178 on the stock right now. I'm showing right here a 177.91, 177.61 on GameStop. Nothing going on. And Wally's World, Nicholas, now that would be popular. There's some really good stuff that they don't let us have easily. Taffy, Laffy likes me. I remember drinking Jolt and buying Garbage Pail Kid cards. Angela, Abba, Zaba, my dentist hated those. Andrew, Macintosh bars, they were available in England in the 50s or thereabouts. Yeah, the Macintosh bars in Canada, I think we can still buy them today. Deep fried Mars bars. Oh my gosh, Macintosh bars and deep fried Mars bars. As kids, we used to melt crayons down those massive glass Coke bottles, stick candle in the end and melt the crayons so they drip down the bottle. Still have one someplace. Abba Zaba. Oh man. Oh my gosh. People are joining up here and bringing in comments. How you guys doing? Hi, y'all. Yes, Stroop waffles are from Holland. Yes, they are. John Van loves Stroop waffles. Holland wins. Eduardo, nobody ate gummy bears? I still do, thanks to my nephews. Haha, we can rename them now to gummy bears, and we will eat them. Mr. T took my kid shopping today, got home and found a Snickers in his bag. I didn't buy it. I know he didn't buy it. So we marched him back to the mall and into the jewelers. Oh, man. T-Jerk, did you have the nuts candy bars in the U.S., a yellow, red package full of nuts, caramel, chocolate to die for? John Van, Stroop waffles from Trader Joe's. Oh, they're so good. Laughing out loud at Mr. T. What's the Discord link? Anybody? Derek, if GameStop sells 3.5 million shares for $1 billion, how does that affect current shares? How does the relationship work? Doesn't affect you at all. But if they're going to sell 3.5 million shares and raise $1 billion, they're going to have to do it at $285 a share. The stock won't be at 177.96. The market will move up first to that level, and then they do the deal up there. They can't sell them at $285 a share. If the stock is 177 a share on the open market, it's not going to work. Did Josh sell his shares of GHVI? Did I miss anything today? Sorry, I've been busy. We're talking about chocolate bars when we were kids. We're talking about our favorite candies when we were children. And we're talking about pop bottles in glass. And we're talking about how you used to open up a pop bottle and in the cap, there would be a cork liner. And you used to get the cork liner out of there and it would tell you in the cap or on the liner whether you won anything from those days, the 60s, when we could buy a chocolate bar for a nickel. You could buy a pop for like a dime. Those are the good old days. John Van Bruce, can I figure out Discord? Anyone laughing out loud? No fighting in the Woolworths. GameStop is drip, 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 slowing lower, needs a bagel boost. And then Halloween came and you get a big bag of all those candies in miniature form. That's right. You get your O. Henry in a miniature version, and I would eat the outside of the O. Henry bar just like I did with a big O. Henry bar until I got to the nougat. Then I have this little nougat, and I would eat the nougat. Oh, those are good days. Good questions. So questions. Haha. What is the Discord link? Does somebody have the Discord link? Can you pop it up? You missed the Newtrageous Gate. Bruce and the Newtrageous Gate. Thank you. Uncle Bruce, laugh out loud. Squeeze them dry, squeeze them. Don't tell them how to get out of it. Squeeze them. Canada has the Aero bars in a bunch of different flavors. That's right, mint. That's true. All kinds of. Jesse is a new member. Jesse, how you doing, man? A new member of this channel. Welcome, Jesse, to the family. Everyone's welcoming Jesse. We love the Aero bars. Andrew, pretty quick. If the price doesn't go too high, even then, how expensive is it for the shorters to hold these positions? What sort of fees are we talking about? I know this has been covered before. Well, they pay an interest rate on the value of the short. They have to put up their own money to cover the short. But with the new rules coming out, it might get very expensive for brokerage firms to try to carry stock short. We're going to see what happens. 178, is that true? Who cares? I can't wait to be outside of an inside joke about it. Jesse, Bruce, I love your channel, man. I sold a put on GameStop for January 16, the 200s, and received $9,500. I'm okay with the risk, but what are your thoughts on this? So you sold a put contract at 200. So it's in the money right now, if I'm not mistaken, $23 a share approximately. Is that about right? At 178, I guess it's $22 in the money, and you would multiply that by 100, and that would be that would be worth book value $2,000. But you got 9,500. I'm okay with the risk, but what are your thoughts on this? So theoretically, someone can sell you 100 shares of stock at $200 a share, right? It's the deal, and you're okay taking it. I'm okay with that deal. I don't think that's a problem. Bama Babe, the hedge funds will slowly, over 1 year, 2 years, gradually get the GameStop lowered by millions of short position plays. I don't know, Bama Babe. We'll see what happens here. Jesse, hello there. James, who used to buy those single-serving salted Planters peanuts and pour them into your 16-ounce glass of a bottle of Coke? Did you ever do that? I remember the cellophane containers of Planters peanuts, and they would be about that long maybe and that thick, and they'd be like, what, 50 cents or 25 cents? For 20 cents, you'd have and if you did it right, you'd take your teeth and you'd peel off the corner of the bag, and then you would pour just enough into your hand and eat them one, or you'd pour them in from the bag into your mouth a little at a time. I remember doing that with Planters salted peanuts, but I don't remember putting them into my Coca-Cola bottle. I would never do that. Welcome, Jesse. What's the take on GameStop today? I missed all the trading today. You missed nothing. We traded, what did we trade today? 4 million shares of stock. We didn't trade anything today. It was Deadsville today. Volume 4.6 million shares of GameStop. Snooze fest is what we had. Closed at 177.97. No news today. We're talking chocolate bars now. VGAC went down to $10 today. That's a bargain. We talked about that. Still sideways. I have to have a Hershey's bar, no almonds, before I play hockey, and a newspaper for the penalty box. No stonks, just candy. Let's get back to the candy. We'll talk about the candy. Oh, man. Hedge funds had deep pockets, and time is nothing to them. The only hope is a margin call soon or continuous news from a corporation that keeps buying volume high. That's right. We need more news. New directors. We want to hear about the new directors. That's what we want to hear about. And we will very shortly hear about the new directors. James, they only have to sell 1,000 shares at $1 million. That's right. 1,000 shares at $1 million. You got $1 billion. That's it. Put the 3.49 million shares back in the treasury. Short squeeze. That's right, Barry. I can still smell the bubblegum fragrance mixed with the collectible cards, from baseball cards to Batman cards. I remember the Batman cards. You remember the monster cards from 1964, 65? They had the monster cards and the Batman cards, and they had the football, baseball, hockey, basketball cards. I remember the Addams Family cards. Were there Munster cards? I can't remember. There were all kinds of cards. Oh, man, cards with the gum in it. Shares, relationship issues can always get counseling. There you go. Cody, I bought Tootsie Roll stock. No lie. I once owned Tootsie Roll stock. J. Ray Kramer said yesterday that retail was furious about the 3.5 million shares. I don't think there's anybody worried about. Butch, is it true when hedge funds drive a company to bankruptcy, they don't have to pay tax from all the massive shorting? Oh, yes, they do. They make money. They have to pay tax. Oh, they do. Dots. Remember the dots? Oh, the dots. And the minis were magic. The minis. Mars with almonds were the truth. Oh, man. Welcome, Jesse. Milka or Toblerone. Oh, the Milka or Toblerone chocolate bars. Oh, so good. Every GameStop shareholder must buy a 100 grand bar. That's right. I remember RC Cola glass bottles for 25 cents. They looked scratched and scuffed and so refreshing. The bottles were reused all the time. I remember buying a brand new Coca-Cola, getting a bottle of Coca. The bottle's all beat up on the outside, but it's fresh cola on the inside. And then you'd get a brand new bottle, never used before, and it would be pristine. I remember those. Oh, they reused them all the time. Ron Weppo. When I was younger, I bought my favorite chocolate, and it was Over the Moon because I worked for them, then went on school camp, and I forgot those chocolates at home. I was crushed. Oh, I can imagine if you've got your own chocolate. Oh, no. Milka or Toblerone chocolate bars in Canada. You can buy them here. RC Cola, Ryan Cohen has a soda brand. There you go. KW, Jesse is no longer welcome for putting puts on GameStop. Oh my, oh my. Hey, I'm calling it a day, everyone. See you guys tomorrow, bright and early. GameStop to the moon. I got 7 minutes to go, and I'm calling it a day. Oh yeah, instant winners. Bye, gamer. I just wanted to hear you say it. Clap. Oh my gosh. Ditto. Gotta go later, everybody. Wally's World. So when you listen to Uncle Bruce on his take on the infrastructure plan, remember Canada has the longest highway in the world, the Trans-Canada Highway, 4,860 miles. Astonishing. And we try to keep it in pristine condition to good for business, I'll tell you that. Heated peanuts in a Dr. Pepper is a Texas thing. That's interesting. A god like Yabba Zabba and Big Hunk bars. Wally's Stock Markets with Bruce, little hard. Just saying, you missed nothing. Sounds so wrong for a guy that's been accused of trying to hawk coffee mugs. Shills unite. I like shoplifters unite better. Cadbury eggs. Oh my. RC Cola is the way. Hubba Bubba and Big League Chew. John Van saying bye for now. Mike C. Little League Chew. Lots of memories from the dugout as a kid. Waffle Raptor. I remember eating Big League Chew, thinking I was so cool eating fake chew, laughing out loud. Ashley, I was on the Dead Tour in the 80s and did a show in Montreal. Cut across the top of the Great Lakes and dropped down into Michigan for shows there. Cool ride. Yes, across the Trans-Canada Highway. Eduardo, here's Coca-Cola, so popular that even Burger King sold Coca-Cola and not Pepsi. Wally's World, whatever you're saying there. Ron, I am signing off as well for now. Has been a pleasure again. Uncle Bruce and my apes. See y'all tomorrow. Gorilla, neat. Thank you, everybody, so much. I'm down to the last 5 minutes of this show. Ron, I will be on Discord again tomorrow. What is the Discord address? Does anybody know what it is? Colin Dangerously, you had me at Hubba Bubba. You had me there. Goodbye, Repo. Colin is smiling. Thanks, Bruce. See you in the morning. You betcha, folks. 1 hour before the opening. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining this channel today. We've had 670 thumbs ups on this telecast today. I thank you for all these thumbs ups. If any of you have not thrown a thumbs up our way, do me a favor right now and hit that thumbs up button right now. Let's run that thing up as high as we can. Do you think we can get to 1,000 before we get off the air today? 675 thumbs ups are here right now. I don't know if we can reach 1,000. But maybe we can get it up there as close as possible. We got 38 downs and 694 on the way up now, and 38 down. So we're outrunning the downers by the upper. 607, 706, 706 on the thumbs up, 714 thumbs up. Keep them coming, guys. Hit the thumbs up as hard as you can. We got over 1,010 people watching here. I'm sure 300 of you haven't put up a thumbs up yet. Hit that thumbs up button for me. 729 right now. 38 down. Think about your favorite chocolate bar and give me a thumbs up right now. Remember Coca-Cola in glass bottles? Give me a thumbs up right now. Remember the cork lining in the cap of a Coca-Cola bottle? Give me a thumbs up right now. Remember your youth and how it went. Do you want GameStop to go to $1,000 a share? Give me a thumbs up right now. 754 right now. 757 right now. Give me thumbs ups right now. Remembering how young you used to be and how strong we used to be and how active we used to be. Give me a thumbs up right now. 764. We're coming. They're coming in. 764. The thumbs ups are coming. 770. The thumbs ups are coming in. Thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up button, thinking about your youth and all the good times we had when we were kids. Oh my gosh, what we used to do when we were kids and what we used to get away with. Oh my gosh. Thank you, everybody. Scott Coleman, thank you, Scott Coleman, for your $10 donation. I predict volatility in our future. Love from London. Thank you, Scott, for that PayPal donation. I almost forgot to look it up. There it is. The PayPal donation came in from Scott again today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That is fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for being part of the show today. 177.51 on the GameStop. Not much going on in the aftermarket, but we'll see what it does in the morning. Lots of emojis are flowing up here right now. The neat emojis are popping up. I thank you for that. I'm going to pop up some neat emojis myself right now. We got to get these neat emojis going here. Here we go. Neat. Let's pop them up there. Get them up there. Oh, yeah, we're popping up the neat emojis. Here we go. We got a new member. Mr. T has just joined the party. Oh my gosh, a new member. Oh my God, what are we going to do with Mr. T in the house? This is scary. Thank you, everybody, so much. 803 thumbs ups. They keep coming in. You guys are still delivering the thumbs ups. This is beautiful. 803 thumbs ups now have come in here. And from 600 and something to 806 now, another 3 more. Here come the neat emojis. We're drowning the channel with neat emojis as we get ready to sign off this afternoon. Here from Creston, British Columbia, I'm popping up the neat emojis. Everyone else is popping up the neat emojis right now without mercy. We are popping them up. There's Mr. T, new member. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do with Mr. T in the house? This is scary stuff. Mr. T. Mr. T is here. Welcome, Mr. T. We got the knees all going up all over the place. Mr. T, it's about time you were here. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. How many thumbs ups now? 817 thumbs ups. They're still coming. They're still coming in with thumbs ups. 817 thumbs ups. And the neat emojis are popping up. Now let's get some thumbs ups emojis going here. Let's get the thumbs ups emojis going. There we go. There's the thumbs ups emojis right there. 820 thumbs ups, and they're coming in like crazy. Thank you, everybody. Let's get the buzzer going. Here comes the buzzer. Here comes the buzzer. The buzzer, the buzzer, the buzzer, the buzzer. We're getting the buzzer going. Trying to get those emojis. Trying to get those thumbs ups. 824 thumbs ups, everybody. We're exploding with a volcano right now. This is awesome stuff. Rock on, everybody. We're rocking on. Here we go with the emojis. We're rocking on. I love it, guys. Like butter. We're going through 800s on the thumbs ups like butter now. 827 thumbs ups like butter. Thank you, one. Thank you all for all of your support of this channel, enthusiasm of this channel, hitting the emojis on this channel. Why not? Having fun with Uncle Bruce. Thank you, everybody, for having fun with Uncle Bruce. You got to be a kid once in a while, you know. You just got to be a kid. I mean, you can't be too serious all the time. It just doesn't make sense. You got to have fun. You got to let loose. You got to let her go. Have a good time. 834 thumbs ups. They're coming in. They're coming in. You can't stop the thumbs ups, brigade. You can't stop the parade of thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, so much. We got diamonds. We got dollars. We got stuff. We got emojis like you can't believe. Charts. We're going higher. We're going higher. Oh, yeah. Rock on, baby. Let's rock on here. Here we go. Oh, yeah, we're cool, baby. We're so cool with the shades. You got to love these emojis. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, my goodness. We love it. We love it. We love it. Cat. I'm not a cat. I'm a cat. I'm not a cat. Thank you, everybody, so much for your support of this channel. 837 thumbs ups. Fantastic. They're all coming in. Everyone is throwing up the emojis. There is no stopping the emojis right now. This channel is going emoji crazy. The engagement is off the charts, and that's what this channel is all about. All right, well, that's it. I'm done. I got to go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. 837 thumbs ups here. I so appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining this channel. Thank you, everybody, for your support of this channel. Thanks for your comments, kind words, best wishes. We'll see you tomorrow morning. First thing in the morning, 1 hour before the opening, let's run this baby to the moon. Let's see what happens with GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop GameStop, and everything else. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Eduardo and all of you guys. Oh, I love this. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And have a pleasant evening. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 my time in the morning. We'll be up and running. And let's go to the moon with this thing. Mr. T, thank you. You know, I put my friend's chocolate bars in different wrappers earlier. Needless to say, he got his Snickers in a Twix. He got his Snickers in a Twix. I love it. Thank you, guys. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you. And we'll talk to you more tomorrow morning. Thank you, Mr. T. Have a great night, all. We'll see you later. Bye for now.